Hey, how's it going, guys? Got a couple more videos for you. A buddy of mine called me up and asked if I would give him some pointers on what to pack when doing a trip around the world. And as luck would have it, I actually have a flight in about 8 hours going from San Francisco to Bangkok. So I thought I'd just leave this camera on and kind of tape me as I was packing my stuff, and then I would just explain why I was bringing certain items and certain things that you might want to pay attention to when you're doing your own packing for your own trip. So hopefully this will help. So let's get started. First off, we're going to start with the clothes I'm going to wear tomorrow. Now, if you're doing something like flying air courier or using a companion ticket, or if you're flying in economy and it's overbooked and they need to bump you up to a higher class, the people at the checkout counter are going to give priority to the people who are more smartly dressed. So it doesn't hurt to be dressed nicely. Pretend that you're going to a job interview. It's always nice anyways to have a nice set of clothes with you when you're traveling. Even though you're not going to be wearing it that often, there will always be places like if you go into a church or a museum or a nice dinner party in a fancy restaurant. So for tomorrow, I'm going to be wearing a set of slacks, nice dark dress shirt, tie, my belt, and for shoes, a friend turned me onto these. These are called Sanooks, which were invented by a couple of surfers. They feel like sandals that have a leather top over them right here. When you slip them on, it does feel like sandals. They're super comfy. But if you get them in the right color and the right cut, you can actually get away with having them pass as loafers when you're wearing them with dress shoes. So this is a godsend when you're sitting in a plane and you just kind of want to feel more comfortable. So I highly recommend them. They're not that expensive, actually. If you go and get them at a retail store, they'll run for about $50-60 bucks. But if you go on Amazon, you can get them for about $20 to $30. Totally comfortable. They usually come in a canvas style, but you can get them in the suede style in different colors. So much recommended. And plus, the thing I like about them is you can crush the heel in the back and actually wear them like a slipper instead of having to slip them all the way on. They're vented on the sides and they dry fairly quickly. So these will be my dress slash sneaker shoes for while I'm walking around Bangkok. Socks. Now, if you're going to any place where you're going to be doing a lot of hiking and a lot of walking, it pays to buy quality socks. Just bite the bullet and spend the money and get 2 or 3 pairs of really good socks. I'm going to Bangkok, and right now it's the end of February, beginning of March, and it's going to be warm and hot. It's actually going to be really hot this time of year. So I'll mostly be wearing sandals or slippers or something like that. So I'm not going to be wearing socks that often. So I'll just be wearing these. Actually, I got bumped into a business class flight, I think in Rome, and they gave me these socks for free on the flight. So I'll just be using these, and if they wear out, I'll just toss them. If I'm going to another country where I need quality socks, I'll just go to an outdoor store. But yeah, if you're going to be doing anything, especially for winter sports, if you're going to some place like New Zealand or Colorado, bite the bullet and get the good socks. But for where I'm going, I'll be spending most of my time in Thailand, maybe Burma or Laos. Not really going to be needing these, so it's safe just to have 1 or 2 pairs. If you don't need them, get 3 pair of the really good kind if you're going to a cold environment. Incidentally, I will be pointing out differences between how I'm packing now for hot weather and what you'll need for warmer weather. It's a little bit more, or a bit more complicated if you're traveling to a colder climate, but it shouldn't be too bad. You'll just carry a few pounds of extra gear. Let's see, underwear. If you go to the sporting section of any department store, you can find brands like Under Armour or Ex Officio, and what you want is synthetic underwear because cotton takes forever to dry. You'll want something that is 100% synthetic, no cotton whatsoever. This is, I think, nylon and polypropylene, and it's fitted, and they're usually made to be antimicrobial, and they wick sweat away from your body. So it's the same stuff that they use for base layers. While I'm on the topic, actually, when you're traveling in a cold environment, most people think that you wear whatever you wear on a normal day and then you put on a huge coat. That's actually wrong. If you ask anybody who has experience with outdoor weather, they'll tell you that it's all about wearing a layer system. So the first layer on your body is the base layer, which is the first layer that contacts your skin. It'll be made of something that's completely synthetic. It'll wick moisture away from your skin, and it'll dry quickly. On top of that, you'll want something like a wool sweater or a fleece to wear on top of that. That'll add another layer of warmth onto your body, and then over that you'll want kind of a shell, like a Gore-Tex, to keep water off. And with those 3 layers, you're good to about 10-15 degrees Fahrenheit. So I mean, just mentioning that in case you're packing for a cold weather trip. So forget about the big coat. It's all about finding layers of clothing. I can go in depth with that if I'm doing another packing video for another country, but just wanted to mention that now. So anyways, underwear. Back to underwear. You only need 3, maybe 4 pair, because seriously, like at the end of the day, I know it's kind of a hassle, but you kind of get into the habit of it, is at the end of the day when you're taking a shower, you take the underwear that you've been wearing all day and you just wring it out, wash it, and then hang it out to dry, and then by the next morning it's dry, and then you just wear the other pair and you just rotate between the 3. You actually only need 2, but it's nice to have 1 or 2 extra pairs just in case like you just get lazy and you don't feel like washing. So you actually don't need like 10 pairs of underwear. 3 is fine. 4 if you're really paranoid. Most people recommend that when you're traveling you don't wear jeans or anything cotton, that you travel completely with synthetic clothing. But the problem with that is most synthetic clothing is ugly. I've yet to find a clothing brand that has made good travel in synthetic clothes that look nice. That would actually be a nice market, is to create clothes that travel well and look nicely and are low maintenance. So until that happens, I'm bringing my favorite pair of jeans. I mean, no matter what city you go to, you're going to want to go to a bar or a club or just hang out with people, and it's nice to just kind of wear something that's comfortable, that feels like a little bit of home. And plus, jeans, you don't really need to wash that often. I know it sounds kind of gross, but you can wear jeans for ages before you wash them, and no one's going to know. So yeah, I would bring a pair of jeans. Everyone I know who travels brings a pair of jeans. I haven't heard any complaints, even though all the travel books recommend against it. So just wear what you feel is comfortable. On top of that, since I'm going to a hot environment, I'll be spending a lot of time at the beach. Good pair of board shorts. No matter how hot the weather is and wherever you're going to want to carry a jumper or a sweater, preferably with a hood or a high collar, because even in the middle of the night it'll start to get chilly, so you'll want that extra layer. You'll want some sleeping clothes. I'm just going to bring my Kung Fu uniform, just because it's a lightweight cotton, so it'll dry really quickly and it breathes really well. What else? A standard towel. Most people will recommend those pack towels that you see at backpacking stores. I've tried that. They work and they're fine, but they just feel a little thin and a little fragile for my taste, and it's just nice to have a full body towel. It takes up a little bit more room, but personally I'm willing to pay the price for that. And also, if it comes down to it, if you need like to use your towel, you can lay it across the beach and use it as a beach towel. So it's nice to have that one thing, that one nice towel, and it feels really good. This particular one I highly recommend is by, I forget the name, but it's become my favorite towel. Can't find the label. Sorry about that. When I find out the name of the company, I'll just put it in the notes section. I think oh, here we go. It's Acqui Essentials. So you can get it on Amazon. It's actually pretty expensive. It's like $35 for this towel. But trust me, it's like the best towel I've ever had. It dries quickly and it just wicks away moisture like nothing I've ever seen. And then lastly, bringing 3 button-up shirts. Now the reason I'm bringing these instead of t-shirts is because t-shirts tend to be made of a heavier cotton that take a while to dry. With these shirts, even though they are made of cotton, they're thin enough that moisture evaporates really quickly. And plus, since they're long sleeve, I can wear them outside, roll up the sleeves, and I'll be fine. And when I go into a air-conditioned area where it's really cold, I can roll the sleeves back down and I'll be fine. So I'll just bring like 3 of these along with me. Actually running out of time. I'll continue this with a part 2.